have a story to tell you, but it's boring to just listen to me narrate a story, right? So here's a footage of me unboxing the Cricut. I don't know how you pronounce it, but this was done back in November, and I finally got down to editing this video now. We are actually on 3rd of March today. It took me quite a while, right? I procrastinated for a long time, and yeah, it just dragged on. I lost a lot of footage actually because I accidentally formatted my memory card without backing up the videos. So the final resting place of this Cricut machine is on a different IKEA shelf that I specifically bought to fit my printer and my Cricut. But I lost the footage of me assembling it. So this is all you have, and this is actually the very first footage of me unboxing the Cricut machine. It has been a very long journey to get this machine. There were a lot of dramas basically. If you follow me on social media, on Instagram, you would have heard about this. I bitched about this company so much. Oh well, where do I begin? Okay, it just started pouring really heavily outside. I hope the mic don't pick up on the sound of the rain, but if it does, I'm so sorry for that. Weather has been really crazy lately. So basically, this machine finally arrived after more than a month. So and it wasn't even the one I originally ordered. So let's get down to the story. I initially ordered a Cricut Air 2, and I ordered it via Lazada. There is two main shopping platforms in Singapore, online on the apps, where they are always fighting on prices and discounts and sales and whatnot, and it's mainly Shopee and Lazada. They are both good for different things, but I decided to order my Cricut Air 2 on Lazada. And the drama actually is with the delivery company. So I won't name that company because I don't know if I will get into trouble for doing that, but they have quite a bad reputation here. If you follow me on my social media, you would have already known who I'm talking about. But if you don't, it's a delivery company starting with the letter N for Norway. Make your guesses. So basically, I know it sells. It was a huge sale. I think I ordered this on the September sale, 9/9 sale, and on 10/10 sale. I honestly can't remember. So I know it sells, so I expected delays. And surprisingly, the warehouse dispatched the order quite quickly. It was within like 3 days of me placing the order, so that was faster than expected. I was really excited to get it. I saw the delivery updates. Okay, your item has been scheduled for a pickup, item has been picked up, and item has entered the warehouse. Okay, and that's where it's got stuck. So I would actually usually expect to see the next update to be the item has been picked up by the logistic or the delivery driver or whatever, or your item has been scheduled for delivery on that date, and that date would usually be the day itself. Sometimes I actually would get these updates after I receive the delivery of the item, because somehow, I don't know, the update is slow, it's laggy, it came only after I received the item. So yeah, but usually I will receive it on the morning of the day of the delivery. So I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Usually it doesn't take that long to come out of the warehouse. But I was thinking, okay, it was a big sale, so maybe the warehouse is too full. So I waited. I am a very, very, very patient customer, okay? I think I waited for about a week before I raised any concern to the the shopping app, Lazada. So Lazada said, okay, from what we can see is with the delivery company, we can't do anything on our end. You have to contact them yourself. We can't contact them for you, blah blah blah. So I'm like, fine. So I contacted them, and they were like, okay, let us check and get back to you if the item is lost or something, or damaged or something. Okay, they will check and get back to me. I at the same time also filed an email request with the delivery company to check. So two ends, I called them and I emailed them. Both, I didn't get a response the next day or the next day or a few days later. No response at all. So I went back to Lazada again. I said, can you ask them to ship out another one via a different service company? They say they can't. They can only give me a refund after the delivery company confirmed that they have lost the item, or they will only, like, the only other way is just wait for the delivery company to deliver it. So I had no choice but to wait, and it was getting frustrating. So I went back to Lazada again. This time the next customer service officer who I spoke to was kind enough to just accept the email confirmation that, you know, they are checking if the item is lost or damaged, and they took that confirmation to indicate in their system that this item is lost, and a refund will be processed to me. Okay, mind you, this part of the process is actually very manual. I had to contact a customer service officer on Lazada app to get them to manually change this to a lost item and then to get a refund. I will explain why later. So I was like very sad, but I know the next sale is coming. So actually, by the next time there was the next sale, it's probably either the 10/10 sale or the 11/11 sale. I changed my mind and I decided to get the maker instead. And this time round, I went with Shopee instead. So again, I think it's basically the company's warehouse is linked up with this delivery service provider. So Shopee is also delivered by the same company. So I was really keeping my fingers crossed. But I was quite confident that in the event anything will go wrong, I'm quite covered. And this is why. Because in Shopee, the seller is obliged to deliver to ship out the item within a time frame, and then we have up to a certain date to mark the order as received once we receive it, or a period of like a few days upon delivery, like on the app, the order will be marked as delivered, and we have to actually go in and indicate that we have received it within a few days. If not, the system will automatically change to delivered, and then after that they will dispatch the money to the seller. If the item did not get delivered within that time frame, then usually what would happen is the app will come up with an option to prompt us either to contact the seller, extend the guarantee. So their Shopee guarantee basically means like we will get our money back if they don't ship the item within the time frame, they lose the item, or we get a faulty item, blah 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 lah. So there was an option to extend the guarantee. And in the event like what it happened with Lazada, if it happened on Shopee, the order would have already lapsed the duration that was given by Shopee app for you to fulfill the order, and then I would have had the option to click a button and say I want a refund, instead of contacting multiple customer service, blah blah blah, and sort through all the details and then have them do that part. So that's the thing I like about Shopee, is that you actually are kind of insured until the point you receive the item. If you don't, you can actually just ask for a refund, and it's just a click away. It's very good. I really like their app. So I was quite happy to receive the order actually just a few days later. So even though this next sale was actually even bigger than the previous sale that I ordered, I actually received the item so quickly. So I was thinking, in hindsight, I shouldn't have waited so long, because the previous time this happened with Lazada, I actually, the whole process took about 3 weeks for me to finally get a refund option, and then another few more days to get the refund back. So yeah, I should have gone with Shopee right away. But yeah, I mean, I learned a lesson. I'm not saying Lazada is bad. Lazada has its good as well. It's just this time around, it was a delivery company that screwed up. And I tell you, I was so annoyed when it was delivered to me. I will show you in the picture here, okay? This is how big the box is. It's half my body size. It's up to my waist and beyond, It's so big. How can a box this big be lost? It's really ridiculous. Like, how did this delivery company lose such a big box within their warehouse? It's quite ridiculous, right? And then what's more ridiculous is when I open up the box, it is so poorly packed. There was nothing supporting the Cricut box. And as a result, some of the vinyls that I ordered together were a bit bent, folded, because the box was just shaking. The Cricut box, machine box, was just shaking around in the huge ass delivery box. It's ridiculous how they pack this thing. And what a waste of box and size and, transport, and you get the idea. Yeah, so I was really annoyed. By this point, the video has already stretched into my cafe outing with a friend, so there's nothing much to say there, so I'll just finish up my story here. Basically, I tested the Cricut. I wanted to use the Cricut to cut some stickers that I needed to use by December and January, but the Cricut was giving me very, very poor accuracy in cutting, and every time I tried to calibrate it, it got worse. I spent one whole day and probably 20 over sheets of paper trying to calibrate it, and it just got worse, and I just gave up. I really just gave up. The next time I went back to reattempt to recalibrate again was already in January this year, 2022. So that is like a good 2 months after I received the Cricut. I didn't touch it at all. Yeah, so the accuracy of print and cut is quite bad. I don't know how to sort that out for now, but I figured it works pretty well if I'm just gonna cut vinyl and and use it, or cut anything that is not print and cut, if it's just a cut. So if it's just a cut, it actually works pretty well. I have used it on some new prototype products, customizable products, that was a gift for my friend, and then some sample as display for my pop-up events. So that works, and I just gotta figure out how to sort out the print and cut function when I actually feel like doing it. Yeah. So what you're about to see is actually my last weekend in the studio. My studio last day was actually 19th December 2021, and I did a series of pop-up events over the last 3 weeks of the studio, basically the entire December that the studio is open. I did pop-up events so that we can close the studio with a big bang, but still within safe distancing measures, of course. Many people may not know, actually I made the decision to close the studio as early as June last year. That's because after like the first round of heightened alert measures by the government, it was too stressful to keep up with the changes and having to navigate. Sales was affected for sure, and then I had people cancelling the workshops that were booked to be done in my studio. I don't blame them, because with the measures during the heightened alert, it was almost impossible to hold a workshop and not make any loss. Yeah, so we had to make that happen, and all the efforts of navigating through all the changes that happened through the 2 times government introduced heightened alert, it was way too stressful. So I decided to close the studio then. We tried to find a new tenant to take over my lease before the end of the year. We tried for about 3-4 months. We couldn't find anyone. Then I decided to call off the search, because I needed certainty that I would have the studio for November, December, where, you know, it's the festive season. Sales is always the best during this period. So I cancelled the search for a new tenant and focused on running a few events and you know, pop-ups or whatever in the studio to maximize the last few months I have in the studio. So that was what I did, and I began selling off my furniture as well, and also some of the older tools that I no longer need. I help other makers sell off the unwanted tools as well. It's also a farewell to my pig mascot for my brand, because I've used the brand mascot for about 2 years already, and I feel it's time to grow and time to refresh the brand a bit. I wanted to shake off the kiddish vibe, so the pig mascot farewell was in conjunction with the studio farewell. So I had like some farewell gifts prepared for my customers that included like a special pig mascot pin that I got made just for this. And yeah, it was really nice to see some customers and vendors and fellow business owners for one last time in my studio. Some of them even came back and pop up with me one last time to celebrate the closure with me. So I'm really thankful. And I'm also very grateful to have met all these different makers, small business owners that have helped me through this 1 year by popping up with me, holding workshops with me, or even consigning their products with me. All these really helped me so much last year. Yeah. As mentioned at the start of this YouTube video, I mentioned that I actually lost a lot of the footage of me cleaning up the studio and moving out. So what I will insert here are some Instagram stories that I took of the move out. I made arrangements with a lot of vendors to come pick up their remaining consignment items before I close, but there were some who were really caught up with all the Christmas events, so I packed them up for them. And I also packed up the entire studio, dismantled my own furniture just as how I set them up, and yeah, prepared for the move on Christmas. We borrowed my husband's company van to move my things back. It took about slightly more than 1 trip, and then we fixed everything else ourselves. We covered up the holes with plaster from my dad and also painted the entire wall using leftover paint from my dad as well. I painted 3/4 of the wall, okay? It was really, really tough. So I get questions from everyone like, are you sad to move out, etc. To be honest, I'm not. Those who really know me know that I really struggled a lot last year, and the financial stress on top of all of that was really, really, really hard. So to let go of this huge rock on my shoulder was a big relief actually. But I wouldn't change this experience. I think even if I had to go back in time, I would still do this, but I would just probably be more prepared than I would have done. Yeah, so I don't regret doing this. It really opened my eyes to a lot of different kind of people out there, the good and the bad. And I learned so much about myself. Yeah, I'm still dealing with the shit that I created for myself. It will take probably a year or so for me to get back on my own 2 feet, but I really wouldn't exchange this experience for anything else. Without that, I don't think I would have grown so much. Yeah, I also learned that I am really an introvert, and as much as I love meeting customers, it really drains me. It's fine if I do a pop-up and then I have a week to rest, but when I have a studio, I am expected to turn up every week, and it really drains me so much. By the end of the year, I was really like battery flat. Oh yes, I was also very lucky that I managed to sell out most of my furnitures before I moved. That included the big shelves, and I had a few tables and chairs left that I had to bring home, but most of it I managed to sell before Chinese New Year. So I'm really grateful I managed to clear all those bulky furnitures and I don't have to store them at home. And yeah, this is actually me going back to the studio one last time. I think this was already mid-January. I took my own sweet time to rest at home after we did all the fixing and painting over Christmas and New Year. So yeah, finally handed over my studio in mid-January, and I went back for one last check before I bring the keys up to the management office within the building. So actually the landlord is not the management of the building, but the managing of the keys and facilities are with the building management. So the building management would actually be in charge of checking that I reinstated the entire unit back to the original state, and then they will let my landlord know that okay, everything is good, the keys are with them already, and then the landlord can arrange with the next tenant to take over the unit.
It's very echoey, as you can hear. It's really empty now. I came by for one last check before I hand over the keys, and then I can say that, I'm not liable for anything here anymore. These are all off my hands. I can't believe it's like a year passed by so fast. 1 year ago, I am excited about starting this place and getting all the shelves set up here and bringing my things here. So excited to start a new chapter. I can't believe that 1 year has gone so quickly. I really miss this view. Look at this amazing view of the hotel and the streets. Yeah, like that's one thing that everybody loves when they come here, the view. Yeah, so it's bittersweet. But I guess everything needs to come to an end at some point. And I don't know what is this next chapter of Cricut is gonna be. I have no clue yet. I'm still figuring it out as I go along. It's just been a very long 12 months. Very tough 12 months here. I'm so glad it's over. So I'm saying goodbye to this place.